episode of Broadway Unfiltered. I almost called it my old podcast from high school. Hey guys, wow, second solo episode. Last episode was so funny, right? Sophie and Shay. We filmed that a couple weeks ago, way before American Idiot. And I'm filming an episode on the 8th soon with two people who I'm very excited to film with. I'm not going to spoil it, but you'll see when it happens. Yeah, I have been really thinking about what I wanted to. Also, a new location. What? This is actually just. Whoa! Let's not put my feet there. This is actually just the opposite of what you were seeing. This is the wall I was looking at for the first episode, and I wanted to be comfortable for 30 minutes, so I'm laying down on my beanbag. I saw this hack on TikTok where you get a beanbag cover and fill it with all the plush you have. And I had a tote full of plush that I brought when I moved, and I thought, well, did you just hear that swallow in 4K? Is that can you hear things in 4K? Anyway, and I thought I'd put my stuffed animals in. I don't have that many, though. Like, I have a lot, but I don't have enough to fill this. So it's still kind of deflated. I'm leaning on two Squishmallows right now. One is Dragonite. And this one's some chameleon my ex got me like 3 years ago. I mean, my display cases, wow. And here is all my action figures. And then up here are, like, horror figures. This is the Batcave. And this, I don't know what this is going to be. This is just, like, random. I made, like, a custom Nosferatu thing. And I put that down here, but that's beside the point. Or did I put my phone? So I was going back and forth of what I wanted to do on this episode. God, I've been really wanting to comment on politics. Let's move this around. But I just didn't. I decided actually no. I do it a subsequent amount. Is that the right word? On my TikTok and Instagram. So here I'm just going to genuinely just talk about theater for this episode. I have been thinking a lot about what I've been wanting to talk about. And honestly, it's so hard for me to keep a conversation for. Oh, my water is all the way over there. It's so hard for me to keep a conversation for like 30 minutes by myself. So I don't know. We just did American Idiot last week. Oh my God, did that show go absolutely amazing? One of Fidelity's best. Truly. Big shout out to Sophie and Shay. First time music directing. And they knocked it out of the goddamn park. Big shout out to Dylan, who joined the show. Dylan was absolutely amazing and was ready to learn everything, even though we weren't going to have him and everything. He was so open to staying for multiple days. Oh, I have like 50 water bottles in my room. Water. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm just going to... let me be confident. I'm going to talk about some of the shows that I have been dying to direct. Not in a Fidelity sense, but in a full sense. I am directing a full show this year. I don't know if I'm allowed to share that yet. But Ernie, who is a Fidelity alum, Ernest, he is going to be producing the show and starring in it. This is a great angle. He's going to be producing it and starring in it. But, hold on, I got to sit up better. But he is, and he's letting me direct it. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it is yet, but I don't know if he wants to keep the suspense. I mean, I've been telling friends, but I haven't posted it on the internet. Yeah. I think I'll just... Oh, Shay, don't make no comments about the yawning. I'm supposed to get my laundry in 5 minutes, but fuck it. This took me 20 minutes to set up. I have this thing called a Motu M8 or something. I don't know what it's called, but I know it's Motu. And the thing with the Motu is that for some reason, it takes USB-C. And for some reason, all the USB-Cs I have will power it up, but it won't connect it to my laptop. And I had this one that I knew would power it up and connect it to my laptop. And I couldn't find it in my room. I was freaking out. It took me 20 minutes to find one that worked. I still haven't found the one that I've been using. But I took out my Nintendo Switch one because I assumed that would work. But I'm going to go through the shows I want to direct. There is one show that is like no secret that I've been really wanting to direct. I posted about it numerous times. And this is also going to be like my concrete evidence like, hey, motherfucker, this is my idea, and if you steal it, I'm coming after you. I am setting in stone right now that this is my idea, and if you do this production as this idea, you stole it from me. Jesus Christ Superstar, like top show to direct. I guess I'll just go down the list of what shows I want to direct, and then I'll tell you my ideas for them. Jesus Christ Superstar, this is how much I want to direct them to at least, but I still want to direct them all. And I'm yawning. Yeah. Yawning a lot is a good indication of vocal health. My high school choir teacher, hate her, but she told me that if you yawn a lot, it's because your voice is, you're using it in a healthy way. I used to yawn a lot when I sing. Like, that's because I don't use my voice in a healthy way anymore. Jesus Christ Superstar, Hunchback, Little Shop of Horrors, A View from the Bridge, Dogfight, Romeo and Juliet, Carrie, High Fidelity, Tommy, Phantom of the Opera, and Brilliant Traces. There's like other shows I would love to direct it. And the show that I am directing it wasn't even actually, I didn't read it until I got the job. But it's still a show that now that I see it, I'm very excited about it. I have some of my ideas, and we're possibly going to do it in the round, which is really cool. Let me take my glasses off. Should I take my glasses off? I'm scared that's going to stop. No. I'm scared it's going to start recording or something. So paranoid. All right. So my idea for Jesus Christ Superstar is it'll take place in a mental hospital the year before lobotomies were put out of practice. Kind of like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know, Jesus will come in and he'll raise some chaos, and the Ratchet character would be Pilate, and then there would be two doctors as like henchmen, and it would be Annas and Caiaphas. The thing is, it would be an entire male cast because they don't have co-ed mental institutes. The only woman it would be Mary, and I would possibly be with the idea of doing Annas as a woman or Caiaphas as a woman if I can find somebody who could sing that low. But Jesus, instead of getting crucified, he'd get lobotomized, and when Judas kills himself, he would stab himself with an ice pick. Peter would play guitar for the show, and Simon would be Simone, even though we don't really, I don't know. It would be Simone, and it would comment on like trans women in those institutes at the time. Obviously, trans women would be sent to male facilities at those times, and I think like, some now still. And she'd kind of be like comatose the entire time. She'd be watching the TV the entire time, and the only time she'd ever snap out of it is for her song. And I had a show in mind, like a Shirley Temple type show, but I don't remember exactly what it was called. Fuck. Keep yawning. I have a cast that I would cast with Fidelity, but I remember my cast being, I would cast Jesus as it'd be non-traditional casting. Jesus would be Will Chase. Judas would be Reeve Carney. You gotta hear me out. Peter would be Rob McClure. I would kind of want Peter to kind of be like an older-ish character. I mean, no, I love Rob McClure, but he is older. He's 50. And Will Chase is probably in his 50s, but Reeve is in his 40s, but he can play younger. Mary would be Phoebe Bridgers. Whoa, so crazy. Mary would be Phoebe Bridgers. Caiaphas. Oh, God, who do I have as Caiaphas? Will Swenson is Caiaphas. Pilate is Howard McGillen. And Annas is Andrew Barth Feldman. King Herod. Shit, I don't remember who I had as King Herod. It was a very old cast list that I made. I don't remember who I had as King Herod. I'll tell you who I would make King Herod now. Like, out of Fidelity people. Sarah Ford. Sarah Ford played Rose in Dogfight, Ursula, Ensemble, and Rent. What else did Sarah do? Spring Awakening, Drunk Wicked, stuff like that. Yeah, Jesus Christ Superstars would cost a lot of money. Musicals cost a ridiculous amount of money, especially to produce them in New York. It's an insane amount of money. But it's fine, I guess. Then after that, we have Hunchback. Now, my idea for Hunchback, personally, I think this is such a cool idea, and I really, really want to do this. But it would have to be a show that runs for more than one night, more than a weekend, probably like a week or 2 weeks, like 16 shows. My idea is Quasimodo is a new performer every night. So the first night it would be whoever I cast. First night would be Quasimodo. And at the end of the show, during the finale, Clopin will choose a choir member from the bleachers in the back or the stands in the back, would choose a choir member that night, dress them as Quasimodo on stage, kind of like how in the beginning of the show, Michael Arden comes out and he puts the paint on his face and he gets the lump tied on him and then he gets the coat on. Like that, it would be at the end of the show. And they would get chosen. And it wouldn't be just like random and they have to learn it in a day. They would all learn the role like an understudy would, with the chance that they're probably going to get chosen, even though there's like 60 plus people in the choir. And it would be regardless of gender. And they would play Quasimodo the next day. And they'd only do it for one night. And then Clopin would choose another choir member and then another one. But they'd all would learn the track and their choir track with the hopes of getting chosen. Yeah, what's my next show? Little Shop. Oh, God. Okay. So my idea for Little Shop is the same actor plays Seymour and Audrey too. So it's kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. And yeah, that's the idea. I there's like not a lot that you could do directorial wise with Little Shop to make it completely different. I mean, obviously what I just mentioned, but I think that making Little Shop unique comes from the costuming and the props and stuff like that. Sweaty Oracle posted a video recently about how there's no Little Shop production that is taking chances on their Audrey 2 puppets, which is completely, yes, it's just the same. It looks like a fucking cookie. It's like with the fucking, it looks like an M&M cookie. And it's just, I don't hate the design, but it's just the same thing every single time. But Pasadena Playhouse did their own with George Salazar and MJ Rodriguez and, oh God, I can't remember who played Orin. Was it Taran Killam? I think it was Taran Killam because I know Taran Killam did it at City Center with Ellen Green and Jake Gyllenhaal and Eddie Cooper. I don't remember, but and Cameron Chamberlain is Mushnick. But their puppet is so cool, especially when it went over and it was like a big mouth. Oh, so cool. So yeah, if I was to direct Little Shop, I'd probably hire somebody who I think would make a bold choice with the puppet and the costuming. I've been holding back. If this podcast ever gets popular, then one day it'll just be a compilation of me yawning. A View from the Bridge. This would I would kind of do the set design. I would still want to direct it, but my idea would be that the kind of like how they did it. I don't remember what theater they did it at. It might have been the Lyceum, but it was with Mark Strong and Ivo Van Hove. Is that how you say his name? Directed it. And it was just a bare bones stage. And I don't think I would necessarily do bare bones. I mean, to a certain degree, I would do bare bones. But the stage is surrounded by two-way mirrors, and the audience can't. The cast can't see the audience. And I would kind of do camera work like a Jamie Lloyd Ivo situation, and almost every single scene that takes place with Alfieri. In Alfieri's office would be in a different room, and there'd be a screen on stage that would show the scene that's going on between Alfieri and Eddie. And yeah, and the reason I want to do like two-way mirrors is like kind of show that like they're reflecting on themselves, the characters, and at the same time Eddie thinking that Rodolfo is the monster, but the monster has always been there 50 times worse, and the monster is Eddie. Because Eddie is a bad guy. He's in love with his niece. That's fucking weird. But it's my favorite play. The app that I use to record keeps popping up with things, and it's scaring me. And then we have Dogfight. We did Dogfight this year with Fidelity, and I kind of got to execute my idea, but not to the fullest extent. But full female cast. Every single character is played by somebody who is femme. But they're not playing female versions of these characters. They are playing women portraying men. So I wouldn't cut their hair or anything like that. I'd keep their hair long. I'd still want them to look feminine, but I'd want them to play the characters. Uh, but I would still let them do male traits. Main cast only. Other characters are disembodied voices. So I can't remember his name, but the guy who talks to Eddie on the bus would be a disembodied voice in the far like regions of the world or whatever, and kind of like Jamie Lloyd's Sunset. Whenever they talk, they kind of face forward and look out into the audience. And yes, the person they're talking to is next to them, but I kind of like how they're just talking out. So like in front of me is the guy on the bus. Oh, you been to the war? Yes, sir. I'm in Vietnam. Oh, that's really great. Like it's the guy out there. That's the idea that I have. Also swap. Oh, I put this, but I don't remember why I put this. I have to listen to the song again. Swap who sings what in First Date Last Night. I have to look into why I said that again. I don't really remember the song. Well, we cut it when we did it. But fuck. How long is this going over? 60 minutes. That would be the idea. And I'd kind of want to like make them as like male as possible and to kind of like portray them as women looks wise, but treat them as men in the show, and kind of like even if they do things that like a man would do, but they look like a woman. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain it correctly without like giving too much away. But Dogfight is up there. Dogfight I think I could do significantly cheaper than Jesus Christ Superstar. And I also want to say that the reason I'm talking about any of these and giving them up is because if anybody finds these interesting, give me money. I want to do these so bad. Let me go back and actually tell you my dream theaters. Well, I don't really have dream theaters for all of them, but I will tell you that Jesus Christ Superstar Dream Theater is Theater Lab in Midtown. Oh my God, Theater Lab is my dream theater. Theater Lab for Jesus Christ Superstar and Theater Lab for Little Shop. Sorry, not Little Shop. For a View from the Bridge. Hunchback, I would need a gigantic theater. I don't even know what theater I would use. I don't know. Argyle Theater is a good theater. Maybe that one. Then again, I don't know what they would store all of those, all of the choir people. Little Shop, honestly, I have no clue. I would not want to do Little Shop at a Broadway theater. I don't know. I guess if we're gonna go, let me go back to if I was to do Jesus Christ Superstar at a Broadway theater, I have thought about this. I don't know. That's hard. I wouldn't want a big theater. I don't know. Maybe the Golden or the Lyceum. Even though it depends where the Golden, there's not a bad seat in the house. The Lyceum, holy shit! If you're not in the orchestra, you are fucked. The Lyceum has the worst seats in the house ever. I saw Be More Chill there, and oh my God, awful. I saw Be More Chill there, and then a couple years later, I saw Grey House, and my seats in Grey House are great. Granted, I worked at Grey House, but Be More Chill, oh my God, my seats there were awful, and I was so upset about that. But I digress. Hunchback at a Broadway theater. God, it's gotta be the Gershwin. I mean, I know that. Hold on. I had to huck up some spit. I'm so sorry. I know that's gross, but I'm congested. I know Wicked will literally never leave the Gershwin, but Gershwin or Minskoff, which Minskoff, there's a possibility Lion King could leave, but I don't think that Wicked would ever leave. Little Shop, if I had to pick a Broadway theater, I'd want a small theater, so I guess probably for Little Shop, I'd say the Golden. A View from the Bridge, Circle in the Square, 100%. I'd want it to be in the round. Because I would want the mirrors to surround them and not just be in front of them. That's why also if I was to do A View from the Bridge, I would want to do it like in a smaller theater. I'd want to do it at Theater Lab. But if I was to do it at a different theater, then I just have a platform in the middle of the stage. Dogfight, I don't know. The idea of Dogfight on Broadway doesn't make any sense to me. Not because it's bad. I love Dogfight, but I just don't know what theater it would be great at. Dogfight's another show where I think it's too intimate. I don't know, maybe the Lena Horne. I miss it being called the Brooks Atkinson. I love that name for a theater. Change the name of another theater. Give that one Lena Horne. I don't know. I just love the Brooks Atkinson. Such a nice name. Lena Horne's not a bad name, but Brooke Atkinson. Also, I just got so used to Brooks Atkinson. I can't keep saying it. Say it 50 times fast. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. How much time do I got left? I got 10 minutes left. All right. Romeo and Juliet. My idea for Romeo and Juliet: full female cast, and everyone would kind of be dressed in like oh, what's the word? I don't know. Like medieval like undergarments, or not undergarments, but sleeping. What the fuck is it? Like a sleeping gown? I don't know. Whatever fucking Olivia Hussey wore in the movie, something like that, and they all wear that. And either it would be that the Capulets and the Montagues would wear different colors, like white sleeping gowns and then black sleeping gowns, or all the women would wear white and then all the men would wear black. I don't know, but that's just my idea, and I want it to be not immersive, but like an interactive in a way. Honestly, crazy place for this to be like my dream place to do it at. Chelsea Table and Stage, even though that's a cabaret venue, God, that's a staircase. I would want to probably do it there. But Broadway Romeo and Juliet, I don't know. Where was Great Comet? The Imperial? I just would do whatever Great Comet set looked like, or whatever cabaret did. Carrie, make the scary number, the destruction. Make the destruction more orchestral, and smaller numbers stripped down. Smaller numbers stripped down. I also think I would go back to the 80s score. I would keep some songs from the newer one. Dreamer in Disguise I would keep, but I would make that a cappella. Honestly, come see our Carrie. This is uploading before Carrie. So today I'm uploading this on the 6th. So in 11 days, on the 17th, come see Carrie. You get to see some of my ideas. With the destruction, Carrie will be big. The destruction will be huge, and it will do God has seen your sinning and your knitting, whatever the extra part that they added, that they had in the original one. I would keep that in. I would make it much more orchestral, and then once Carrie starts to kill everybody, silence. No more music. Music cuts out. Done. And then you're left with just the drowning sounds of blood-curdling screams of teenagers dying. Dreamer in Disguise would be a cappella. I wouldn't want any music under that. And the destruction of the music in it. Everyone is dressed in white like the original production. And it isn't a retelling of what Sue is saying to the police. That's my biggest ick with the 2012 version, is that it's like Sue recalling the events and telling the police about what happened. I hate that. I don't like that. I also would set it in the 80s and not modern day, which is, again, what the 2012 production did. I would keep some songs. Billy gets an entire song called Out for Blood, I believe. What do I get? Too damn long. Feeling sorry for myself, whatever the words are. That I would keep in. Yeah. I like the 80s version better, but there are things about the 2012 version that does make it slightly better. High Fidelity. It premieres in an... Oh, I would have Carrie. What theater would I have Carrie at? What theater was it at originally? I don't know. I haven't been to every theater on Broadway, so I don't know like what... I don't want something too big, but I don't want something too small. God, that's hard. Broadway theaters. I'm looking at my wall of posters. God, I don't know. James Earl Jones. Was James Earl Jones the Court? Right? I didn't even know it was a theater until... What the fuck was it called? What was it called? Gutenberg. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I wouldn't mind... Oh, fuck. What was the show that I was talking about? Hunchback being at the Broadway. That's another good theater. Yeah, I'll have Carrie at James Earl Jones. And High Fidelity would premiere in an actual record store or a theater constructed to look like a record store with actual records to purchase. And I don't know if that the people who are selling the records will be merch people or if it will be like Rob and Dick and Barry. I would put it back in the Imperial, its home theater. I think that'd be fine. Yeah. But if I was to put it in an actual record store, I don't know. The new downstairs for Rough Trade, I think, is a pretty good idea. Um, Tommy, the Who's Tommy. I forgot I was gonna tell you cast. Well, that's not gonna happen because I got 6 minutes left. Tommy set it inside a real arcade, so honestly, probably like a Dave Buster's or something like that, where guests can come 2 hours before curtain and actually play the games for no extra charge. All the games are free, and the entire show is lit with blacklight. I don't know how I would do seating and stuff like that. I have to think about that. I mean, granted, this is just pipe dreams, but that would be the idea that I would have. And I think I can rattle off casting after I do this. There's one more left. No, there's two more left. Phantom of the Opera, complete rearrange of the original score to make it funky brass and banjo orchestra, and it would take place in 1940s New Orleans, and they're all Cajun. Yeah. You know how long I've been waiting for this? Yeah, that's what I would do. I really like that idea. Shout out to the Broadway brass band on TikTok. They did a cover of the title song in like a funky brass, and I really liked it, and that's kind of what catapulted my idea. And then the play Brilliant Traces. I have no idea for that. Genuinely, I just want to cast Wally Barham as the role. I think she'd be absolutely amazing. I'll tell you what characters I do have cast. Hunchback Hunchback, I have nothing for that. Brilliant Traces, I have Wally Barham for Rosanna, and then I think I would like to play Henry, but I also think that Turtle with the Hat, Izzy and Emma, the YouTubers, would be so fucking funny as Henry and Rosanna. Izzy would be Henry, and then Rosanna would be Emma. Phantom of the Opera, the only person I could think of was I put the Phantom as Bobby Conte. I think he'd be great. Tommy, Casey Likes as Tommy. That's all I got for that one. Yeah. High Fidelity. Oh God, I have a High Fidelity cast somewhere. This is like with people I know. I have, well, actually not all of them. Brian Charles Johnson or Gerardo Canonico as Barry. Morgan Higgins as Liz. Morgan Higgins has done Fidelity, but also Morgan Higgins was in Bad Cinderella. Carrie, I don't know. Carrie, whoever I have in my cast now, I guess I'll put him in. Romeo and Juliet, nobody you guys would know. Dogfight, okay, this one. Rose would be Nina White, but I have a mutual on Instagram. Her name is Sarah Nusser. Sarah would be a great Rose. Marcy would be Olivia Puckett. Eddie would be Keaton Whitaker or Gabby Canto. I have two Marcys on this list. I didn't mean that. Bernstein would be Kaylee Capaldi. That's all I have for those characters. A View from the Bridge, the only stunt cast I have would be David Krumholtz as Eddie. David Krumholtz posted on his TikTok a self-tape he had to do for Grumpy in Snow White with Rachel Zegler. And I was like, whoa, wait, he'd actually be a really good Eddie. I know somewhere I have a cast list for High Fidelity. Do I not? I know I have one. Unless I deleted it. Oh, well, do I want to read that one? I have a High Fidelity. If I was to do High Fidelity at 54 Below, I have one. But honestly, I don't think I would mind this cast being the one that would be in a production that I would direct. Oh, wow. I just found a list of how I would reinvent Broadway and like putting shows that I think should be on Broadway. Wait, actually, I'll go back to that in a second. But let me look. Okay, 54 Below. Rob is Dylan Saunders. Dick is Andrew Barth Feldman. Barry is Phil Sloves. Laura is Eva Noblezada. Liz is Gracie Lawrence. Ian is Will Chase because Will Chase played Rob. Bruce Springsteen would be John Patrick Walker, who played him in the original production, or Robbie Conte Thornton. And then Marie would be Lisa McAlpine. This is like 54 Below, and I don't think that people like Lizzie McAlpine and Gracie Lawrence would play small ensemble roles. Okay, let me go. Okay, so this is my idea of what a perfect Broadway looks like. I didn't finish it because there's how many Broadway theaters? 41 Broadway theaters. So it was kind of hard to put together. But this is what I have. Anne Juliet would stay at the Stephen Sondheim. I think Anne Juliet is a great tourist show to go see. Little Mermaid, I would put Little Mermaid in the New Amsterdam Theater, and I would close Aladdin. Broadhurst, whatever's at the Broadhurst, I'm closing it, and I'm putting in Dogfight. I would put The Life of Pi back at the Schoenfeld. The Life of Pi was one of the best plays, one of the best shows I've ever seen on Broadway, period. Buena Vista Social Club, I would take out of the Schoenfeld, and I'd put it in the Ambassador. Death Becomes Her can stay at the Lunfontaine. Parade would stay. Parade would open at the Majestic Theater. Hadestown would stay at the Walter Kerr. Hamilton would stay at Richard Rogers. Seussical would open up at the Schubert Theater. Jesus Christ Superstar would be at Circle in the Square. I know I said the Golden Theater before, but honestly, I don't think that Circle in the Square is a bad idea, especially for the idea that I have. Maybe Happy Ending can stay at the Belasco. High Fidelity would open at the John Golden. Oh Mary, I would close Oh Mary at the Lyceum and put it at the Lena Horne. I put Sunset Boulevard back at the St. James. Book of Mormon can stay at the Eugene O'Neill. I would open up again Here Lies Love at the Broadway Theater. Lion King can stay at the Minskoff. Again, that's another good tourist show. And I think out of all the Disney shows that are open, well, what is it? Just Aladdin and Lion King. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Aladdin Broadway show. I like Lion King more. I love Alan Menken. Don't get it twisted. Wicked will stay at the Gershwin. I would open Brilliant Traces. Whoa, a play. I would open Brilliant Traces at the Lyceum. God, I just think you need to fucking demolish the stage at the Lyceum and just make it taller. It's not tall enough. I would open A View from the Bridge at the Hayes Theater, which is Second Stage Theater. I would reopen Merrily back at the Hudson. I would put A Bronx Tale back at Longacre Theater. If you didn't see A Bronx Tale on Broadway, you missed out. Okay, I'm almost done, and then I'm going to have to cut this off and get my laundry. Still have to get my laundry. Once, I would put Once at the Music Box. A chorus line at the Palace Theater. And Carrie at the Winter Garden. There are other theaters that I didn't name, like August Wilson, Lyric Theater, Neil Simon, Al Hirschfeld, Marquis, Jacobs, Studio 54, Booth, The Imperial, Todd Ames. Oh, it's not the Todd Ames. Oh, yes. No, now it's the Todd Ames. Sorry. Barrymore, James Earl Jones, Nederlander, Friedman, Vivian Beaumont. Yeah, if you didn't hear a show that's on Broadway right now that you're like, wait, I like that show, it's probably because I don't like it. Which is fine. I'm not going to yuck your yum, teach their own. But also that list is not finished. And I started that like 3 months ago, and I just kind of got bored. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to... You guys like my laptop stickers if you're watching? Make sure to rate me. Rate the podcast 5 stars on Spotify. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Comment what your dream show is to direct. You can also comment on Spotify. Did you know that? Also comment what your dream show is to direct, whether that is a play or a musical. And if you're not a director, what's your dream role? Leave that in the comments. You can subscribe, like, rate us 5 stars. Make sure to share with your friends. Come see a Fidelity show whenever you can. All of our shows are at Don't Tell Mama. And next year, we're doing 4 shows a month instead of 3 shows a month. Crazy. Except for when there's holidays. And 2 cabarets a month. And actually, I guess I will tell you who's going to be in our next episode. The cabaret position, I'm not going to run the cabarets. I might do a cabaret or 2, but I'm not going to run them. Mary Grace Epps is going to be running our cabarets. Mary Grace Epps is Miles Messier. That's they're together, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And Grace expressed whoa. It says no. Interest in joining Fidelity in some capacity. And I prompted that. And we met, and I decided to let her take a crack at it. And super excited for that. And that's who our next guest is. I'm filming with them soon, and that episode will be released at the end of the month. Yeah. We have another guest lined up for November. Super excited to talk to them. It's their first Fidelity show with us. Awesome. And still figuring out our December guest. But, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, one more time, just to bug you. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, and like the podcast. Bye.